Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tutoring Pros channel. In this video, we're going to be going over how to factor quadratic equations. A lot of students find this topic really difficult and it's frustrating because this is where hard math really starts to begin. I hope that in this video, you can start to understand what it's like to factor at its simplest form. Make sure you watch the video to the very end and try the questions before I go over them. Number 1, x squared minus 6x plus 8. Whenever we're factoring a quadratic equation, the first part that we need to focus on is the last term, or the constant. We need to think about what factors of this number adds to make 6. Whatever sign is in front of the last term is what operation we're going to use in order to figure out the middle term. So since this is a plus sign, what factors of 8 add to make 6? So when we think of factors of 8, we think of 1 and 8 and 2 and 4. When we add 2 and 4, we get 6, which is the middle term. So we know that when we split up the quadratic, we're going to split it up into two binomials with x being the first term, and the two other terms are going to be 2 and 4. Since the 8 is positive, the 2 and the 4 both need to be the same sign. If they're both negative 2 and negative 4, if they're both negative, we're going to get positive 8. And if they're both positive, we're also going to get positive 8. Next, we need to look at the middle term, and the sign of the middle term is going to tell us what sign both of them need to be. So since it's negative 6 minus 6, they're both going to be minus. So x minus 2, x minus 4. For number 2, we have x squared plus 5x minus 66. We're going to break this down into two binomials that are multiplying. And we need to think about the factors of 66 that subtract to make 5. When we think of factors of 66, we think of 66 and 1, 22 and 3, 11 and 6. When we subtract 11 and 6, we get 5. So we know that the two terms here have to be 11 and 6. So we're going to write 11 here, and we're going to write 6 here. Since it's minus 66, these two terms have to have the opposite sign. So either it's minus 11 and plus 6, or plus 11 and minus 6. The 11 and the 6 have to have different signs. The way that we figure out the signs is by looking at the middle term. Since it's positive 5, the bigger number is going to be positive and the smaller number is going to be negative. Whatever the sign of the middle number is, the bigger number is going to get that sign. So for number 2, we get x plus 11, x minus 6. For number 3, we have x squared plus 2x minus 35. We're going to break this down into two binomials. And we're going to think about the factors of 35 that subtract to make 2. Factors of 35 are 35 and 1 and 7 and 5. When we subtract these two terms, we get 2, and that's what our middle number is. So the two terms here are going to be 7 and 5. Since the 35 is negative, these two need to be different signs. Since the 2 is positive, the bigger number is going to be positive. So we're going to have a plus 7 and x minus 5. For number 4, we have x squared plus 11x plus 30. Once again, we're going to break this down into two binomials. And then we're going to look at the factors of 30. We need to find factors of 30 that add to make 11. So when we list the factors of 30, we get 30 and 1, we get 15 and 2, 10 and 3, and 5 and 6. When we add 5 and 6, that's how we get 11, which is the middle number. So these are going to be the two terms inside of our binomials. So we're going to have 5 and 6. Since the 30 is positive, that means both of these need to be the same sign. And since the 11 is positive, that means both numbers have to be positive. and we're going to end up with x plus 5, x plus 6.